it's Laurie, your Feral Mystic, and today I wanted to talk to you about the chakras, but specifically reactivation of the chakra system. This can be one of the most powerful times for you, but it can also be one of the most challenging times because you really have to go in and kind of look at the information that's coded into that chakra. So you can almost think of chakras as like little tiny hard drives or something containing data and information, because that's really what energy is, right? Energy is data and information. So where do we get this data and information from? How does this begin? Well, when you're born, you don't have a fully functioning chakra system. You have this structure there. It's a very immature structure, right? It's waiting to grow and get stronger, and just like baby organs, right? Livers and lungs and things like that. First, they have to come into the world, and then they have to interact with the world for those things to get stronger and learn how to work, right? Because they're not working at first. And the chakra system is the same way. So when you're born, each chakra goes through an activation phase, and that starts at birth to 6 months at the first chakra, tops out from 14 to 21 at the seventh chakra, the crown chakra. So in between there, you're moving up gradually. And what that means is that what you're interacting with your environment, belief systems, things that you're hearing, it's almost like an imprinting that happens on the people around you and the environment and the belief systems and those kinds of things. So it's a very primitive system in the sense that it was about it was very important to imprint on your environment and the adults and the community and your tribe, because that was about safety. They knew what was safe. They knew what not to eat and not to pee in the water, and what animals were going to be you had to look out for that were dangerous, or don't walk too close to this, or don't do that, or don't trust this, or don't trust that, right? So it was a very primitive survival-based thing. And the first chakra is actually about your primitive survival, your community, your tribe, your basic needs being met. So it's very much in that sense of 0 to 6 months, you're learning, are you taken care of and are you safe? And then we keep moving up, right? And each one programs a different set of information for you. So as that's learning from the environment, the thing is that there's no conscious ability there, right? Your conscious ability is built, it starts around 14. 14 is when your conscious mind starts to come online. So from 14 to 21, you're developing your ability to be conscious. Prior to that, you're in an unconscious or subconscious state. That just means a programmable state. It's very important because, like I said, it's primal. It's primitive. It never has had an upgrade. And it's important that it hasn't had an upgrade, but that's for a different video. But it has not had an upgrade. It doesn't know that you're living in a so-called civilized society. So it's still running in that you needing to code on your environment so that you can learn how to be safe. The issue is that because we live in sort of this primitive or sort of this civilized world, that a lot of the stuff that's getting programmed in when you're very young is not just necessarily for survival, but it's a lot of belief systems and ideas and things that you're watching from your parents that may or may not be important for your life, right? That's the thing. So the amazing thing here is that once that conscious mind starts to come online, the idea is that it will start auditing through those programming systems, right? Meaning it's going to go through and it's going to say, do I believe this? Is this true? Is this how I want to run my life? And so forth. A lot of tribal communities and things like that, if you notice, they sent, like, children went off on their own, like at 13, 14 or something like that. Women were getting married and things like that. Boys were going off on their quests and their journeys. We taught you everything. Now go prove that you can do that and know how to survive. And so that's right about that time that conscious mind was coming online. But in our civilized world, and this is, by the way, why teenagers are so lippy and so mouthy and know everything, right? Because their conscious mind just came online. They don't have enough life experience yet to really analyze a whole lot of data, but they're starting to, in a way, analyze this data that's going through their chakra systems, but they don't really realize what they're doing. So all of a sudden they know everything. And but we don't really do that in the world that we live in. We're too busy, you're going to college, or you're getting married, or you're having kids, or you're getting a job, or you're doing whatever it is that you're doing, when you get to that age. And so the wonderful thing is that this system is so intelligent that it has this built-in system that says, well, we'll go through and we'll activate all the chakras. Then we'll start over and we'll start going into reactivations of the chakra systems, right? So as you grow and get older, you can just continue to do this, starting from the top and moving up. And there are times in your life as you get older that you have dual activations of chakras. And these are really super powerful periods of time. And there are times where when you're switching from one to the other, you have a crossover year where you could have 4 chakras being reactivated at the same time. And what this is asking you to do is, where you're at now, please go back through and start auditing in these activated chakras. Now, you can work on your chakra system in any chakra that you want at any time. You don't have to wait for the reactivation, but the reactivation is giving a laser point and a focus on that specific thing. So you're getting a lot of support from the intelligence of the system and the higher self and all of these kinds of things to ask you, hey, let's work some of this stuff out. So a lot of stuff gets stored in there. And so understanding and knowing where you're at and what chakra or dual chakras are being activated for you will tell you a lot about what's going on with you in your life and give you a little bit of focus on what you can be working on, because sometimes these reactivation stages can feel like you're a little crazy because it's bringing up conflicts, a lot of conflicts, right? Because you've had some experience now in the world. You've learned some things. You've decided what you like and don't like. You've had a lot of experiences. Plus, you have all this coded information that's in there. And those two may not have the same ideas about what you want moving forward. And sometimes, we say like midlife crises. And a lot of times those come during certain activations of the chakra system when you start questioning a lot of stuff that's going on in your life. So if you're interested in finding out what chakras of yours are activating, reactivating right now, and kind of getting a broad picture of that, you're welcome to come and schedule an appointment with me and we can go through it. It's one of my favorite things to do, is see what is communicating in the system and what's not communicating in the system and get a really clear picture on it. And if you love this video and you want more videos like that, then please like and subscribe.